Welcome back guys, this is the empinated and today we are going to make an interactive gauge for anything you want. In this case, I am going to show you how to make an electrical usage gauge heavily inspired by the FNAF series. To follow along this tutorial, you should first see the 5-minute long tutorial interactable light switch system. We are going to use it as a base. The link is in the description. Also, thank you for 30 plus subs, it means the world to me. Let's dive right into it. Okay guys, so first things first. Let's create the square widget to display as segments in our gauge. Right click, user interface, widget blueprint, click in user widget and give it a name. In this case, WVP square. And of course, open it up. Next, search for a size box and drag it to the hierarchy. Check width and height override and set both to 40. Set the view mode to desired on screen to get the actual shape. Then search for a border and drag it inside the size box. Next, check is variable and name it. In this case, BRD underscore square. Now let's create the HUD for our character. Again, right click, user interface, widget blueprint, click in user widget. Name it WVP HUD. Drag a canvas panel as the top widget. Then add a horizontal box as a child. Ctrl Alt to set the anchors in the bottom left of the screen or wherever you like. Set their size and position in the X and Y axis to whatever works for you. Next, add a text inside the horizontal box. Set the size to fill 0.5 of the space. Also add an outline size to give it a sharp look. Justify the text as center. Add another horizontal box as a child of the previous box and set the size to 0.5. Modify the alignment like this. I forgot to write usage in the text. Next, open up your game instance blueprint and create an integer called electrical usage. If you don't know how to create and set up a game instance file, watch the short I made a while ago explaining it in less than a minute. Link in description. Back to HUD to set the behavior. Delete this and search for the event construct. From the node get game instance, connect to the cast node of your game instance. In this case, my game instance. Promote the output pin to a variable to save the reference. Next, create a custom event. Call it display electric usage. Connect to a for loop node. Drag the game instance reference to the graph and get the electrical usage variable and connect to the last index pin. First index starts at 1. From the loop body, connect the create widget node of class square. Get the board square variable from the return value. From this one, call a set brush color. Promote to a variable and choose a color. Next, connect a set padding node to set the padding 10 points to the right to make each square appear separated one from another. I was forgetting. In the designer, set the box that contains everything as a variable and name it box underscore usage. Drag the box usage to the graph and call a add child node. The square reference goes to the content pin. This is necessary to add each square to the screen. Finally, connect this event to the event construct. Next, go to the character blueprint to add the HUD on the screen. With the sequence node, connect the first output to the input mapping logic. Then connect the create widget of class HUD to the second output. Create a HUD reference value to the return pin. Then add to viewport to attach it to the screen. In the game instance, set the default value of electrical usage to 3 to see what we have done to this moment. As you see, the gauge is now visible in game and has 3 squares. Let's continue. Now it's time to create another actor, the gate. Add 2 static meshes in the same hierarchy. Mesh 1 is just for the wall. Let's adjust the size real quick. Mesh 2 will be the actual gate. We are adjusting the transform parameters of this tile to make it look as a gate. Change the transforms as shown in the screen. Next, get to the event graph and delete these nodes. Search for the timeline node to animate this gate. Name it gate movement and double click to open it up. Set a length of 0.5 seconds. click in track to add a flow track, name it gate. With right click, put the first point to 0 seconds and a value of 310. The second point goes in zero point 0.5 seconds and has a value of 90. Now let's get back to the timeline and drag the mesh 2 reference and connect it to a set relative location node. Split the struct and connect the output gate to the location in Z to move it vertically. Create two custom events. Name the first as close and connect to the play input. Then name the other as open and connect to reverse. If you want to know in detail what a timeline node is, go watch the short I made recently. Link in description. It's time to build on top of the light switch system. Please pause the video and go watch it. Link in description. Now let's open up the switch blueprint. Delete these two nodes. Then drag the current reference and make it an input. Connect directly to the branch. Next, create another event called usage modifier. Add a boolean as an input named adder to choose from adder or decrementer. Branch node. Before that, let's go to the event begin play to get the game instance and player references from a cast. Back in the event, drag the game instance reference and get the electrical usage. Add an +1 adder and connect the result to a set variable electrical usage. Then connect to true. Copy the same nodes, but add a -1 decrementer instead of the adder. Let's make some space in the interact node. From the player reference, call the hot reference. From it, call box usage, then search for clean children node to clear the squares each time we interact with something. Then connect a cast node of lamp. Now create an actor reference and check instance editable and expose on spawn to set the variable from the viewport and connect to the cast. Next, connect the output to the rest of the function. If the cast fails, call another cast, this time for the gate, and connect to actor. Connect the output to another flip-flop. From as BP gate, call the event close and connect to A. Connect event open to B. Then from the on-off light, connect the modifier. You can connect the variable is on to the input isAdder as it saves the current state of electricity in lamps. Then do the same to the remaining events. Only check the one connected to close. Drag another hot reference from the player and call the display usage node. Connect to all three modifiers. Here I forgot to connect this pin. Next, go to the hot widget to add a condition for setting the visual alarm. If current usage is less than 4, turn blue all squares. If not, turn all of them red. Connect everything as shown. Hit compile and save. Finally, from the viewport, select the actor that each switch is going to activate from the details panel inside the default section. Also remember to set back the electrical usage variable back to 0. Let's test it. Press 1 to interact. First, turn on the right lamp. Then activate the right gate. Then do the same with the opposite wall, and there you go. You now have a simple electrical usage gauge that changes color when it's at full capacity, just as seen in the FNAF series. Remember to customize it to your own needs. You can add colors or adjust the maximum usage limits, etc. Thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe for more.